Yo, what is good YouTube? I'm Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the brand new Nike PG5. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the PG5 features one of the greatest traction patterns of all time. As you all already know, or at least probably know, this is the traction pattern from the Kobe 9, and it is the exact same traction pattern. Obviously there are some slight differences like in the middle and right here, just because, it's a slightly different shoe. But overall, the traction pattern is the exact same. And the traction on here is really good. I wouldn't say it's as good as the Kobe 9. That could just be, differences in the rubber compound. But overall, the traction is really nice. If you guys are playing on your clean courts, you will be able to stop on a dime, no problems. If you want to do a quick lateral movement, you are good to go. This thing is amazing on those clean courts. Even when you're playing on your dustier courts, I would say like your average dusty courts, you're still going to have amazing traction. I would recommend wiping every so often though, because sometimes dust can get stuck, but it's really more of a minimal problem. But yeah, just be aware that occasional wipes will probably help you maintain that good traction. And then if you all are playing on those really dusty courts, you probably will have to wipe because dust can get stuck in between the grooves, and it will affect the traction a little bit. You won't be able to stop on a dime. You'll basically slide to a stop, and it's a very, very minimal slide. So overall, the traction still is really good, even on those dirtier courts. But yeah, overall, I would say that the traction on the PG5 is amazing. So moving on to the cushion, the PG5 features a full-length Phylon midsole. And inside of that, you do have a full-length Air Dot Weld Strobel, which is the same thing that was used inside of the PG4. And it's still really nice. I personally like the cushion setup in the PG4 just a little bit better. They say that they used the exact same Strobel in the PG5, so I'm gonna guess that it doesn't feel as soft, I guess. Because of the actual midsole itself. Maybe they stiffened up the Phylon a little bit. And also, it is partially caged. You do have this rubber that comes up on the lateral side and on the medial side of the heel, which does cage, the cushion just a little bit. So overall, it is a slightly more firm setup than the PG4, but in the end, it does still feel really nice. So moving on to the materials on the PG5 is primarily like a mesh upper, and it is a very, very cheap feeling mesh. But yeah, it's kind of expected on these PG models nowadays. The PGs, material wise, usually don't have the best materials, but in terms of the performance, it does get the job done just fine. I feel like the materials are supported enough and whatnot, but just to the touch, and this being a signature model shoe, I wish the materials would have been a little bit better. But as far as the price point goes, I can't really complain about the materials all too much. But yeah, for the most part, I would say the materials from a quality standpoint is definitely not the best, but in terms of the performance, it gets the job done just fine. So moving on to the fit, I would say that the PG5 pretty much fits like every other PG shoe. It is slightly narrow, so if you do have wider feet, then I would highly suggest you go up at least a half size. For me, I'm a slightly wide footer and I went true to size, and it was a little bit painful. After you break in the materials a little bit, it does get a little bit better. However, I still did have some pain, especially on the lateral side where this piece is right here, just around in this area. I kind of felt like, that pinching pain or cramping sensation, and that also happens on the medial side as well. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. If you do have wider feet, I would suggest you go up a half size. Everyone else, I think going true to size is perfectly fine. Outside of that, I didn't really have too much dead space up in the toe box area, and I would say that the overall fit of the shoe is nice. You do have some Achilles pillows right here. I wouldn't say it's an Achilles pillow, but just padding in the heel area. That does help keep your foot nice and tucked into the shoe. So overall, I would say that the fit is pretty good. Just be cautious if you do have wider feet. You may want to go up a half size. So moving on to the support, I would say that the support in the PG5 is actually really good. I didn't have any issues. You do have an internal heel counter which helps locks in your heel, prevents any heel slippage from happening, anything like that. I didn't have any side-to-side movement on the footbed. The materials do a pretty good job of keeping your foot on the footbed. And also you do have these portions of the midsole that actually wrap up onto the upper of the shoe, which kind of acts as a cage for your foot as well. So you definitely don't have any issues on lateral movements. And on top of that, you actually do have a built-in outrigger into the outsole. So yeah, you're gonna be covered on those lateral movements. You won't have that feeling of rolling over the shoe or sliding around in the footbed, which is awesome. And for that torsional rigidity and stability, you do have this plastic piece right here, which acts as a midfoot shank. So you are covered on that front as well. Overall, the support in the PG5 was really good. So the PG5 retails for $110, and for $110, this is definitely a solid performer. The traction is top tier traction, and you know, the cushion is not as nice as the PG4, but overall it still does feel really good. The only really complaint that I have about the shoe is, you know, the materials could have been a lot nicer, especially for a signature model, but at the price point of $110, I can't complain too much. And then also, you know, I'm a slightly wide footer, so going true to size for me, I did have some pain in the midfoot area of the shoe, or like, I guess like the midfoot or towards the upper portion of my foot. And yeah, that's just something to keep in mind if you do have wider feet. But yeah, outside of that, everything else was solid. I really liked how these performed on court. These were super fun to play in. Definitely an upgrade from the PG4. You know, the PG4 did have some lateral containment issues, which really hindered the shoe. However, you know, I feel like the PG5 definitely improved on all those problems. So yeah, the PG5 is definitely a great performer. And if you all wanted to pick up a pair, I don't think you'll be disappointed. That's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. While you're at it, smash that thumbs up button for me, as it really does help me out. Also, check out this video on my left and on my right, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.